What's up everyone, Ravindra Joyce here, and in this video I'm gonna talk about the story behind this award-winning shot that I had captured during Kanamo Peak trek. So before I go any further, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit on that bell icon to get all the latest updates. I had captured this image during my Kanamo Peak trek in the Himalayas. The peak is at around 19,600 feet and this was at Kanamo Base Camp, which is around 16,000 feet. Let me explain in this video about how I got this shot and why I was so lucky to get this shot when compared to any other teammates of mine. Well, I started my journey from Bangalore, which is around 3,000 feet, all the way to Chandigarh, and I took the overnight bus to Manali, which is around 6,000 feet. And then we crossed the Rohtang Pass and reached Kaza the very next day. I reached Kaza by around 7 pm in the evening, and which is around 12,000 feet. And the next day morning, we reached Kibber, which is around 14,000 feet. So it was almost like gaining 11,000 feet in just 1.5 days. And it was all traveling without rest. The only halt that I got was in Kaza. So it was a hectic journey, and the roads are not good from Manali to Kaza. It's all mud road and full of boulders and right next to the river. And the jeep journey wasn't that great at all, but then it's beautiful, scenic, and it's a really nice journey and once in a lifetime journey, I would say. We even visited Chandata Lake on that day, and we reached Kibber. Well, by the time we reached Kibber, few of them got altitude sickness before we could even start with the trekking. So we explored the place. We went on a acclimatized walk in Kibber, and the very next day morning we went to Kanamo Base Camp, which is at around 16,000 feet, another 2,000 feet of gain in altitude. So the next day was a day to acclimatize over there, and we explored the camp around Kanamo Peak. We climbed a bit higher to, say for example, around 17,000 feet or so, where we could see the fossils of fish and whale and many other things. It was a beautiful place, and the campsite is just too awesome. Well, as we gained altitude without much rest, I continuously had headache, and it was even after spending one full day in Kanamo Base Camp, I had altitude sickness, the symptoms of altitude sickness, I would say. So I didn't really want to continue any further and take risk, because the Kanamo Peak is at around 19,600 feet, and it's almost a 7-hour climb on the summit day, and we have to start at 3 or 2 a.m. in the morning and come back by 4 p.m. in the evening. So it's a 12-hour trek up and down the hill. So I really had a concern if I would make it or not. So I did not go any further. I just explored the Kanamo Base Camp and tried climbing a bit further. It was just me and the cook in the base camp, but then I would say I was really lucky that day, because this award-winning shot is something that I'm extremely happy that I do not regret saying I didn't climb. Even though initially I felt, okay, I'm the only person left out in the camp, the rest of them are either in the lower camp or in the higher camp. I was all alone. So sitting inside the tent for a long time, it was making me crazy because of dead silence. But then the good thing is that when I was alone, it was a cloudy day and we were expecting rain on that day, and it even rained. Well, there was this bright colored rainbow which I could see, and it was really close by. I wish if I could even go there and touch. It was that close, and it was really nice. And in addition to that, that was the only water source nearby, and there were no other water source. So all the wild animals in that area had to come to that place in search of water. So I could hear some noise outside, and I just explored out, and that's when I saw this wild yak and other wild animals around. Other than snow leopard, I could see everything. Well, I immediately took my camera out, and I just had the 7300mm. I couldn't carry the 7200mm lens, which had a better aperture of f2.8. I had the 7300mm. I zoomed it to 300mm with a aperture of 5.6 f, and I had to wait patiently. I think I had to wait for almost an hour or so. Yeah, more than an hour. So I had to wait for that, and I had to continuously, slowly go behind these yak and chase them. Not chase them, but then I had to go right behind them without them making a note of me saying I'm around. So they were going around, but then I made sure that my movement is really slow. You have to make a note that you should not go around really fast when there is a wild animal around. So go really slow, smooth. They should not even recognize that you are there around, so they might just run away. And I was really lucky to get this shot, which no one else has got this. Make use of this kind of opportunity. It is not just that altitude sickness will get this kind of image or so, but then any opportunity of this kind should be grabbed, and don't just sit inside your tent. Even if there are people around, just go explore and try to spend as less time as possible in the tent. So remember one thing, guys, patience is the key when it comes to capturing wildlife photography. And make sure that you keep the camera ready and keep it on, or set the timer, or do something to get that photo. So it is just for sleeping, you need to be in the tent, or else just explore. Even if it's cold, just wear 2 layers of jacket and just go out with your camera and start exploring the place, because you get this kind of amazing shots. It's a once in a lifetime shot, I can say. I don't think I can get the same shot even if I go to the same place again.